Hello, I hope you're all okay and thank you for joining me. I want us today to think about Psalm 121. It's a well-known, popular psalm. I look to the hills from whence cometh my help. My help comes from the Lord. Now I'm going to talk for a little while, but if I was to sum up what I feel that the Lord is saying to us today, it's simply this. Never forget that any mountain that you may have to climb in this life, never forget, I am bigger than the mountains. I'm sure that's what the Lord is saying to us at the moment. Certainly he's saying it to me. Vivienne, I'm bigger than any mountain you've got to climb. Now Psalm 121 was written by King David. But in order to understand Psalm 121, we first of all have to read Psalm 120. Because Psalm 120 gives us the context in which we read Psalm 121. And in Psalm 120, we find David away from home, in a place he really didn't want to be. Living, it says in Psalm 120, among lying, deceitful, war-mongering people. And you get the impression from reading that psalm that David was a little somewhat fed up and even possibly homesick. I don't know if you've ever experienced what it is to be fed up. And I'm not talking about food. I'm talking about those feelings of being down and a little bit low. Many of us have. So David finds himself in a strange place. Feeling fed up, unhappy with those he's living among. So what does he do? Well, he reminds himself over and over that God is watching over him. He reminds himself that God had not forgotten him. In Psalm 121, what the wonderful psalm, 6 times in these 8 verses, David talks about the fact that God keeps watch over him. 6 times. And I suspect that being mindful of that fact brought real comfort for David. Just reminding himself, I may be in a strange and a difficult place, but God has not deserted me, and he watches over me. Even as I sleep, he watches over me. What comfort that brought David. And indeed, it's brought comfort to so many people over the years. It takes me back many years ago when I used to visit Arthur in the hospice, a lovely man, Arthur. And every time I went, I would ask him, Arthur, do you want me to read some scripture for you today? And every time, without fail, he would say, Vivienne, you know, it's that one, my favourite. Psalm 121. He always wanted it read in the authorised version. I look to the hills from whence cometh my help. My help comes from the Lord. Oh dear, what a lovely man Arthur was. And it was a privilege to read it for him in the hospice. And it was an even bigger privilege to read it for him at his funeral. It brought real comfort to Arthur, despite the fact that he was experiencing pain and grief, loss and suffering. He found comfort in these words. My hope and prayer is that these words will also bring you comfort. The fact that God is watching over you, he has not forsaken you, and he knows your situation. Especially I pray that you would find comfort if you're feeling a little bit low and a little bit down in these words today. Now, at the time when David wrote the psalm, remember, he was away from home. And so when he talks about looking to the hills from whence cometh my help, I suspect he's thinking about the hills upon which Jerusalem was built. Jerusalem built on a series of hills and ridges in the Judean mountains, over 2,500 feet above sea level. It was there that the Ark of the Covenant was housed within the tabernacle. And it may well have been there that David felt closest to God. I think it's fair to say he was longing for home. But over the years, the psalm has also become a psalm for the pilgrim, for those on the move, for those who are having to travel from A to B. And I'm not just talking physically. Metaphorically, there are hills to be climbed in this life, and some of them are mighty large. And daunted by the climb we face, we can faint and we can despair. Fear can take hold, and we can hear ourselves repeatedly saying, I can't do this. I just can't do this. I can't. How wise it is at those moments in life to remind ourselves that actually God is our helper. We do not have to climb alone. Every single step we take, He sees. He will not let your foot slip or fall. He will carry you. He will be your shade when it gets too hot to bear. He will be your warmth in the cold. He will be your light in the darkness. And fear not, He never sleeps. He watches over you even in the night. A mountain there may be, and we may be daunted by it, but our God is bigger than the mountain. According to the Apocrypha, the mountains shake with trembling when they look upon Him. Psalm 97, the mountains melt like wax before the Lord of all the earth. Micah chapter 1, and the mountains will melt under Him, and the valleys will be cleft, like wax before the fire, like waters poured down a steep place. Mountains there may be, huge and vast. We may feel daunted when we gaze upon them, but remember, they tremble in His presence. And then finally, the final thought. Interestingly, over the years, this psalm has been sung. It's been a hymn. And apparently, according to the commentaries I've read recently, it was often sung in parts. The soloist would sing, I lift up my eyes to the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help comes from the Lord, who made heaven and earth. The congregation would then reply, He will not let your foot be moved. He who watches over you will not slumber. Behold, He who keeps Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The soloist then sings back to the congregation, The Lord is your keeper. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun shall not smite you by day, nor the moon by night. And then, to end the psalm, the congregation sing back in response, The Lord will keep you from all evil. He will keep your life. The Lord will keep your going out and your coming in from this time forth and forevermore. By singing it in that way, the people of God were encouraging one another that all would be well, for God was with them. This is a lesson, too, for us today. May we encourage one another as we journey along together. We're never meant to journey and learn. And when the moments are right, may we remind each other gently, but truthfully, may we remind each other, my word, that God is bigger than the mountains. Well, it's gone dark. While I've been saying all that, pitch black. There we are, lights on. Well, God bless everybody, and I hope you found that a helpful reflection today. Psalm 121. Never forget, God is watching over you. He really seriously is. May you find comfort in the fact that God is bigger than the mountains. And may we always remember to encourage one another. When we look to the mountains, we're frightened of what's behind every rock. Don't worry. God is bigger than whatever it is behind the rock. Walk in faith, for your God goes with you. Thank you. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.